this is going to be my review of There Will Be Blood for the Philip DeFranco Movie Club. Well, the film stars Daniel Day-Lewis and Paul Dano. There are other people in the cast, but these are the two central characters, in my opinion. This film is based on a novel called Oil, with an exclamation point, which is appropriate since Daniel Day-Lewis's character is an oil man, and basically the whole film is about him digging for oil. It takes place at the very end of the 1800s and the beginning of the 1900s. The film starts with one of Daniel Day-Lewis's co-workers dying. That man, for some reason, had a little boy with him, and Daniel's character decides to raise him. He ends up being his partner, and this little boy, at a very young age, learns everything about oil. There is an event where he is too close to the rig, there is a blast from underground, and he loses his hearing. This is kind of a pivotal moment for Daniel's character and obviously the son, but honestly, the film is central around Daniel Day-Lewis's character and his greed and his attitude and his kind of selfishness. The film is very long and has a lot of heavy string music. It's very odd to me because repeatedly in the film, there would be this very intense, almost like horror movie, fast-paced string music that's like da 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 da, and you expect something really awful to happen. I think maybe 3 times out of the dozen times they play this music does anything interesting actually happen. I don't know if it's meant to be for pacing or to keep you interested since it's a slow, long movie, but it happens a lot. To me, the music feels almost mismatched. I can imagine that some of the music choices were made because of the length of the film and they want to keep you interested or something, because I was basically like barely watching this. I have zero interest in mining for oil. I don't care about that time period. His character was just kind of grumpy and not interesting, and no one in the film really grabbed my attention. Per the title, There Will Be Blood, I kept waiting for someone to get totally screwed up and bloody because of the title. And it just didn't ever happen. There were repeated events, some including Paul Dano's character, where I kept thinking, ooh, shit just got real. This is all very intense now. Something's gonna happen. And emotions would get high. The pace would pick up a little bit. But then people would just be angry and there would be like vendettas and people would just hold on to anger through situations. There was a point towards the beginning where Daniel's character finally buys all this land and is going to begin digging in this new town. He is asked by Paul's character, who is the preacher for the town, to give a blessing before they begin digging. Daniel Day-Lewis's character agrees to this, thinking it'll be good for everybody or whatever he's thinking. I think it was mostly to appease the preacher. When the time comes, Daniel's character is making a speech before they begin digging and gives the blessing himself with Paul Dano's character right in front of him and is clearly just dismissing everything that was said beforehand. And you can see the grudge start. I personally did not like this movie. It was beautifully shot. Every location could have been paused in the film and used as a painting because it was just lovely to look at. But it was very drab because back in that time period, there wasn't a lot of bright color anyway. So it was lots of grays and browns and blacks. And I'm a very kind of like bright, catch my eye kind of colored person and had a hard time staying interested. It was so drawn out. I feel like there were massive time periods that could have been totally snipped because they did nothing for the plot, didn't drive anything forward, and were just kind of there for reasons I suppose the director had. This might be a spoiler, but I feel like only the very, very end of the film qualifies the film's title. They could have easily stuck with the novel's title, which was Oil, because it's kind of more appropriate in my opinion. I know There Will Be Blood is much catchier and makes it sound more interesting, but it's kind of misleading since this film is not interesting at all to me. The only other thing that I can think of to say is that I'm really glad I did not live in that time period. Life was not easy and it sucked for a lot of people. Daniel Day-Lewis's acting was excellent. Paul Dano, excellent. The kid that played his son and the adult that played his son later in the film were both really good. But sometimes good acting is not enough. There has to be a better pace. There has to be more fitting music. It has to work. And maybe this just isn't a film for me. Maybe this is just so far out of my wheelhouse that I just don't get it. And that's fine. I can't like every film that exists. That's ridiculous. But this one I won't be watching again. So yeah, I think that that's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you later.
You just watched Stephanie talk. Don't forget to tell her what you thought. Share